to most individual investors, but also wealth managers, private banks, small pension funds find it hard to get access into private markets. Stableton Financial actually stands for investing in the uninvestable or in private markets. Metaverse will play a part in that as well, obviously, but that's what we do at Stableton. Why is it investable market? Because there is a whole segment, a whole asset class that is basically cut off from 90% of investors today, and Stableton's mission is to change this. So we have the Yale Endowment Fund here. There's a lot of different graphs that you can see that show you that there's a huge outperformance in the alternative investments over public market investments over the years. This is the Yale Endowment Fund, which I find interesting because, first of all, this is a real portfolio. Look at the outperformance. So these guys have done it for quite a while. This is over 22 years now. And also, it's the Yale Endowment Fund, so these guys are pretty level-headed people and quite clever as well. And they're 77% in alternatives. So that means they almost ignore public markets, therefore. So what does alternatives mean? It means hedge fund investments, it means private equity, private debt, venture capital, and so on. But it's inaccessible to most individual investors, but also wealth managers, private banks, small pension funds find it hard to get access into private markets. So here is the Preqin Global Private Equity Report of this year. Same picture, the pensions, the big guys, the institutional investors are heavily invested in alternatives. The individual investor with 5% is cut out. We believe this is not by choice, but by design, because they just can't get in, and we're about to change this. But let me give you an example, maybe a practical example. We'll have someone talking about the metaverse just after me, and we're going to introduce this metaverse, but let's take that as an example. So you decide, hey, I need to be invested in the metaverse. You heard a lot about it. You're convinced that you want to have metaverse in your portfolio, and naturally you go to the public markets. You go to public markets, you start sifting through all the companies and see who has an edge in the metaverse, who has an app, who will be the next big mover in the metaverse. And maybe you stumble upon someone like Facebook. Because, hey, they're now Meta. Okay, so problem solved. Maybe not, because if you look at Facebook's Meta, there's not much metaverse happening at the moment in Facebook, apart from the name. So maybe you want to look further. So further afield, you find one provider, which is Fortnite. Fortnite is a game played by many young people and is currently the biggest live metaverse application out there. It is to the tune of 350 million people who play every day on Fortnite. Unfortunately, I count my 15-year-old son to one of those. So in April this year, they spent a whopping 3.2 billion hours inside Fortnite. Now you have to imagine these guys meet up in there. Instead of going to play football in the park, they meet up in Fortnite, in their avatar, and they hang out together. And it gets better than this, even. On the 23rd of April, I think it was, we had Mr. Travis Scott, which is a famous rapper, I learned, in America, who held the first online live concert inside the game, in the metaverse. So he played a concert in the metaverse. To be precise, it was between two islands. I think it was Sweaty Sands and the Shark Island. And it was attended by 12.3 million people. 12.3 million people, that is a huge concert hall. So I'm running out of time as usual. So, Epic Games, you want to invest in that now. Fortnite, it belongs to Epic Games. Epic Games is privately held. So we invest in privately held companies directly on the cap table with our clients from $10,000 each in a bankable product. So if you have a bankable solution in your bank account from now on, and that's the first in Switzerland. Actually, it's the first in Europe, as far as we know. So do contact us, find us. My name is Carmine Meoli. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.